3, 2, 1.
Get ready.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Trace Coronas.
Oh, woo!
We are here today to talk about a new study, and Zach's going to give us a little bit of insight.
Yeah, so there's this new study it was a survey of, I think it was over 200 financial analysts from banks and asset managers. These are the people who decide what companies to invest in and which companies are most valuable so they can decide where to put their clients' money. They asked these financial analysts, okay, what's most important about companies? And the interesting thing was there are multiple factors. Okay, what's the biggest factor for how you value a company? Branding. Having a strong brand and marketing.
We love to hear that.
We love to hear that. Turns out that's what we do. There were other things. Second place, I mean, that was 79% of them said strong branding and marketing is number one, followed by like 76% or something like that, who said leadership, followed by like technology and innovation. And then there's all these other items down the line.
Yeah. So branding and marketing deemed one of the most important pieces of a company's value. So let's just start with the basics. What is brand? How would you define it?
I think your brand is how the public perceives you and what you do and the services you provide. I think it's all of that rolled up into one.
It really is. It's absolutely everything. We often think of branding as just the marketing. Like, what does your logo look like? What colors do you use? How do you talk about yourself? But yeah, 100%. You know, it's your service, your product. Everything rolled up in one. Pricing, all of it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Is branding a long-term investment, or is it something that you can do once and then call it a day?
I think your marketing strategy should really depend on your goals, and that could change over time. There might be a point in time where you're just developing your brand and you need a one-time investment of deciding on your colors, deciding on your logos, your fonts, your brand voice. And then it might be later down the line where you really want to increase your brand awareness, and that means investing in blogs or videos or social media. So it really depends on what you're trying to accomplish and when.
I think that's a really good point. And a lot of companies, you think about like Nitrogen recently went through a rebrand, and that's like, okay, well, that's a one-time thing, but actually, no, it's a long-time thing. We were just saying like, well, when you Googled Riskalyze showed up. Now when you Google Nitrogen, the company is not at the top, and that's going to be a long battle. So that branding, just from an SEO perspective alone, is going to take a long time to fight their way to the top of that kind of search. Also, the rebranding in general, beyond just the digital of how do people talk about them? What do they think of as the Nitrogen brand? Because Riskalyze was just the Riskalyze survey, right? That's what everybody thought, and that's kind of why they are moving away from that.
But it was literally just their one foundational piece. Like, there's so much more than that. So I think it's really interesting that they are trying to move to a brand that encapsulates all of that a little bit better. We talked about Nitrogen. What are some other brands in financial services that you guys like, and why?
I love the mobile assistant brand so much I would wear it.
Heyo.
But actually, I do love, they had a rebrand recently where they did a whole new logo and everything, but they kept their Ellie the elephant. And I love that. I think it really retained their brand story and origin while still giving it a really fresh look.
Yeah, I think their old brand was really like wholesome, I think is the word I would use for it. And this brand is a little bit newer and more cutting edge and like really takes them up to the next level, I think. But still, keeping their story. They still have Ellie the elephant.
Yeah, true to who they are. And I think that's such an important part of keeping a strong brand. So if we think about like this study, it's all about strong brand. A lot of companies will like jump from one thing to the next, and who knows who they're going to be from one day to the next. But something like keeping the elephant strong through their branding, having that strong brand. And I think you were going to talk about Potomac. I think they're really good about just like, okay, this is who we are,
staying really true to themselves.
Yeah, they're very grounded.
Yeah, Potomac is really interesting because they're not afraid to push boundaries. And it's more than just their colors and their logo, but like everything they do, everything they write, every video they put out, every time they're speaking at an event, like their brand is just so strong, and you can see it just through and through in all of their employees. So I think that's really interesting how they kind of take the idea of brand and transfer it to like the people that they are and how they present themselves.
Yeah.
So I think that's interesting as well.
When Manish walked out at Jolt to the Bluey theme song.
Yeah. We loved it.
That was amazing.
We loved it.
Yeah. If I was on the fence before that, I was sold at that point. Absolutely.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Trace Coronas. We appreciate you being here. We'll see you again in 2 weeks. In the meantime, if you want to learn more about us, Follow us on Twitter at 3 Crowns LLC, or you can go to 3crownsmarketing.com. See you later.